It is 12 noon. Welcome back in. This is Three Man Front on Jocks on this Football Friday. The rest of the way will be myself, Molly, and Conrad. The FAU game tomorrow here on Jocks. Pregame show begins at 4 o'clock. Man, what a great show so far. If you missed anything from Mike Rodak, Wimp Sanderson, Mike Gittins, man, he was not that upbeat about the potential of Auburn beating Georgia and what that could potentially mean. We will have the phone lines open at 1-800-239-WJOX, the courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. If you've got a comment or two, if you've got a score prediction. We did ask you on the Three-Man Front Twitter poll question of the day, Molly. It has to do with, as we do every Friday, is the I Ain't Scared bold prediction.
Yeah, so what is your I Ain't Scared bold prediction for tomorrow? Is it Auburn ending their 8-game skid against Georgia? Ty Simpson throws for 350 plus for the W up in Como. Gators upset A&M, or Mateer leads OU in their win against Texas. And right now winning with 36% of our voters saying that Ty Simpson will throw for over 350 to get the dub over Missouri. About 23% saying that Mateer will lead Oklahoma to a win in the Web Wiffle Rivalry. Auburn, about 21% saying that Auburn will end their 8-game skid against Georgia, and 20% saying the Gators will upset the Aggies.
Yeah, so the majority of our audience believes that Ty Simpson's going to have a big day and Alabama will roll in Como, and Mateer would lead Oklahoma to a victory against Texas. Came out last night that John Mateer is probable against the Longhorns there in Dallas. So that's big news for the Oklahoma Sooners. 1-800-239-WJOX, the courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. Last night in the NFL, it was the Giants over the Eagles 34-17. Cam Skattebo ran for 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Jackson Dart of Ole Miss fame, he was 17 of 25, 195 yards passing, 13 carries, 58 yards, 2 total touchdowns. I bring up Cam Skattebo, Molly, because his former team, the Arizona State Sun Devils, their starting quarterback, Levitt, is out.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I bring that up is because someone that you were very familiar with will be starting for the Sun Devils this weekend.
Yes, that would be 6th or 7th year senior, I think, Jeff Sims. Who has played at
Mr. Turnover at the I just remember him in that Colorado-Nebraska game.
Don't even bring it up. That was 2 years ago. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Week 2. Mm-hmm.
So he is still playing football. He's on the TJ Finley situation with his schooling.
He's been at Georgia Tech, Nebraska, and I think this is his 3rd school. Could
Only
be wrong.
3?
That's it. I thought it was 5.
Yeah, I thought it was 5.
Okay, well, TJ Finley still got the record. Emory Jones was up there. He had a lot as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of former Arizona State quarterbacks. Whew, all right, so definitely load up on not Arizona State then if Jeff Sims is leading the charge.
Mr. Turnover Machine.
Yeah.
Yes, he is your starting quarterback for the Arizona Sun Devils coming up this weekend.
You know, I was shocked when I saw that news come out on Twitter, but at the same time I thought, I really shouldn't be. With this day and age in college football, I mean, you can play as long as you want now.
One of the big stories this week has been what's been going on in North Carolina with Bill Belichick. So the Athletic, Bruce Feldman, and a couple other writers, including Stuart Mandel and Brendan Marks, they have got a story out detailing what is going on at the University of North Carolina. They have talked to countless program insiders around the program, trying to get a better understanding of what the heck is going on. And one thing is for sure, reading this story by Bruce Feldman, that Michael Lombardi is probably going to be the sacrificial lamb when this is all said and done, because some of the things that people have told Bruce Feldman and the Athletic that's been going on behind the scenes, and I'm talking about player person. I'm not talking about like any kind of salacious things. I'm just talking about just the player personnel decisions in which this last offseason, for example, North Texas quarterback Chandler Morris, he had thrown for 3,774 yards and 31 touchdowns when he put his name in the transfer portal after last season. 2 days after he went into the transfer portal, North Carolina announced that they had hired Bill Belichick. So don't you think that Chandler Morris would have been a really good candidate
Worth the conversation.
instead of Gio Lopez from South Alabama?
Yes.
I mean, he's a 6th-year senior, someone that's been around some programs. He's been at Oklahoma and TCU. He's got a famous dad who knows ball. I mean, he wasn't very good head football coach, but his dad been around the game a long time, right? Also, another player, Purdue's Ryan Brown. He's 6'4", 210-pounder. He had started 2 games for the Boilermakers last year, who went 2-10. He was a better fit, according to Michael Lombardi, at North Carolina. But basically, Lombardi said that both of those guys were not NFL caliber quarterbacks.
But Gio Lopez is? Chandler Morris, for
Evidently.
anybody that's like, oh, yeah, I think I've heard that name. He is the quarterback of Virginia right now that just upset Florida State a couple weeks ago.
Here's a direct
Just
quote
for some context.
that was told to Bruce Feldman. You just don't understand what it takes to play in the National Football League. End of quotes. Wait, are you drafting these kids to play immediately on Sunday, or are you trying to resurrect a football program and play at the college level? What are you trying to do?
Somebody needs to show him the old commercial of 99% of us are going to go pro in something other than sports, because that's the reality. You're not the coach at Georgia where, okay, maybe you got, about 40% of a roster will go pro. Yeah, North Carolina, you probably got a handful of those guys.
Now, do I
Maybe.
understand this right, that Bill Belichick's on vacation or he's traveling somewhere this week?
Let's check.
That would be not a great look.
Now, I did hear that yesterday, and the reason I bring this up is because so the Athletic reached out to Belichick and Lombardi for the story that they have posted. Lombardi declined comment, and football spokesperson Brandon Faber said Belichick and the program would not be able to comment Friday because of UNC's open week and the coach's travel schedule.
Well, it has to
Does
go.
that not give you the impression that he's traveling?
Yeah, he's probably in P-Town dusting off the props.
Yeah, maybe him and Jordan are on a little vacay.
Yeah. Go see the family, the in-laws, future in-laws.
Yeah, this story kind of feeds to what we had yesterday with Andrew Jones, the publisher of Tar Heels 247. We've talked to Scott Hamilton from the Charleston Post-Courier.
Well, and I think, I'm trying to remember who it was that brought it up, because I know we touched on it, but I feel like some more details around it came out last night. But you have the situation where, I can't remember the player's name, but there was a player that got injured at North Carolina in the offseason, and Bill Belichick essentially kicked him off the team and said, you can come back next year, but you have a season-ending injury. You're not helping us by being here, so get out of the facility. Somebody that was on the team that got hurt, and he won't let him rehab in the facility because, well, you're not playing this year, so you're just going to be in the way. Like, what?
This is the way people have described Lombardi and Belichick inside that building. A culture of arrogance and ignoring of steep differences between college and pro football.
Oh, who would ever guess that could happen?
Shocker.
There were disagreements within the group regarding some specific assessments of Belichick and Lombardi, including a person inside the program who disputed that Belichick has been absent or inaccessible to his players.
Taking a page out of the Russell Wilson handbook. You're going to have to meet with my secretary, and then maybe we can have a conversation this afternoon.
Here's another great quote. Obviously, this is a Bill Belichick lieutenant. Bill Belichick mentally prepares a team better than I've ever imagined a coach could do.
Well, it's not working right now.
I'll say, we haven't really seen that.
It's great. Well, he's really good at motivating his team against group of 5 competition or FCS competition.
But having the university come out, not saying that they had any other choice, but give that statements out yesterday.
Well, and I
the night before.
Yeah, and I compared it on Morning Jocks, or excuse me, Damien and Friends the other morning.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. But you look at what happened last year with Florida and Billy Napier, right? And Scott Strickland came out and had to release that statement. I mean, that was a couple paragraphs kind of explaining the decision and the future. We got his back, and there's just such a huge juxtaposition between a statement like that and then the 13 words you got from Bubba Cunningham 2 nights ago. I mean, first off, does anybody think that Bubba Cunningham wrote that comment? No.
No.
Of course not.
That was whoever answered the phone for the call. They just wrote down something generic, but it's crazy.
Yeah. And Lombardi he signed a 3-year, $4.5 million contract. So not only are you paying $10 million plus a year for Bill Belichick, but you're also paying, basically
$1.5 for.
That's a highly paid assistant coach.
Oh yeah.
In college football.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Jim Knowles' money, but that's good money. I think Ryan Grubb makes $1 million at Alabama as the offensive coordinator.
Well, and the concern you have now is, look, I understand money talks, and you'll get some people that, if you can be the highest bidder, that they'd still be interested in going to the program. If you're somebody going in the transfer portal for next offseason or next season, why on God's green earth would you have any interest in going and joining the North Carolina football program? Because I get it this year, right? You had some kids that probably said, I want to go play for Bill Belichick. That'd be a great learning opportunity. That's out the window. What could you possibly have to entice recruits, transfers, anything going into next year if this staff stays together?
Here's another interesting. Somebody actually went on the record with this. This is Alvin Gibson. He's an agent with Prolific Sports Group. He's the father of North Carolina defensive back Gavin Gibson, who transferred from East Carolina after Belichick was hired. Gibson negotiated his son's deal with Lombardi. This is a direct quote from the dad. Mike is very confident in his abilities to evaluate talent. I don't think he's a mean person. I just think he looks at players and says, this is the production and this is the valuation of that. I can't say it's fair or unfair because I don't know what the skill evaluation is. One agent who visited North Carolina with a top 200 high school recruit this spring was shocked how uninvolved the on-field coaches were during the visit. The agent finally asked a position coach why he wasn't chatting up his recruit. This is what the recruit's agent said to the coach. You should be up his ass for 3 days. Yeah, I mean, if you want to recruit.
Yeah, if you want him that badly.
You need to recruit him.
It is kind of funny, though, because he got a free pass on this in the NFL a lot because, I mean, he was winning Super Bowls and it helped when he had Tom Brady. And I'll give him credit, right? I think there are a lot of years in the NFL that he was able to maximize what he got from his players when he didn't have the most talented roster in the NFL and still go and compete at the highest level. He was really bad if you go back and look. Bill Belichick was not good in the draft. He was really bad drafting players in New England. And similarly with free agents, there were a lot of free agent busts. And I know Tom Brady covered up a lot of that, but you just go back and look, he was not a great talent evaluator.
No, and it kind of plays into this next portion that I was going to read you. This is from a university source with Bruce Feldman's story at The Athletic. This from the unnamed source. Initially, they thought people would flock to play for Belichick and take less money, but they realized fast that that wasn't the case. End of quote. And just a reminder, North Carolina brought in 70 new players on the roster, 41 transfers. Nearly 50 players from last year's 6 and 7 team went into the portal, including several players who left for schools that made bigger offers, such as pass rusher Bo Atkinson, who went to Ohio State. You had Amari Campbell, linebacker. He went to Penn State. Nose tackle Travis Shaw went to Texas. And several of UNC's current defensive starters are transfers who had barely played at their previous Power 4 schools. So the examples are glaring that they just don't know how to identify college talent, period. They don't know how to work the NIL game. And basically, it sounds like to me, the University of North Carolina gave them a blank check and carte blanche to do whatever they wanted to do, and now it's coming home to roost.
So how do you think, and I mean, we'll never know, right? They'll probably never indulge this information, but I would just be curious to know what kind of, if any, conversations Belichick had with Nick Saban before taking this job. Because you would think, right, they're very good friends. Obviously, Nick Saban, the greatest college coach of all time, at least of the modern era. You would probably want to ask him some questions. Hey, what kind of climate am I getting into? How different is it in college and the NFL? And I just wonder, with some of these reports of all the arrogance within the athletic facility, did he just even look at this as, I don't need Nick's help. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to go in there and do things the way that I did them in New England, and it's going to work because it worked for me there. I really do wonder if he had that stubbornness to No, I'm not even going to bend the ear of a Nick Saban or somebody else in the college ranks because I'm Bill Belichick. Why do I need anyone else's help?
And it's also interesting. Bruce Feldman points out in this article that Michael Lombardi, who is the GM of the football program, as I just mentioned, he has a 3-year deal. He's the only person on the entire staff that has a 3-year deal. His own sons, he's got 2 sons on the football staff. They don't even have those deals. Talk about awkward.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I mean, I guess it insinuates that maybe they had faith that they would want him to be a part of the program even after Belichick left. I don't know.
In this article, they said that an insider on the UNC staff says we do not have one single pro prospect on this roster. Not one. And you heard Andrew Jones yesterday from Tar Heels 247, what he was telling us, that there were 6 offensive starters still in the game against Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And the game was well out of hand.
Yeah.
So why were those 6 guys still in the game?
Because you're so bad that you want them to keep getting reps? Or you just really have the worst depth in the entire country and you don't trust that your second string guys know what direction to run on the field?
Bruce, towards the end of the article, he says numerous people interviewed for this story, they were flabbergasted at the tone of Lombardi's presence around the football team, which essentially says all the time, be patient. This might take a few years, but we know what we're doing. It might take a few years, but yeah, we'll
put it on a t-shirt and sell it right now.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed. Amazing. So if you get a chance or you have a subscription to The Athletic, I strongly recommend, if you have time over the weekend, take a read, because Bruce Feldman's one of the best writers you're gonna find in college football, and this is a really interesting deep dive. It's called Bill Belichick Pledged an NFL Approach at North Carolina. Program insiders call it flawed.
I just love the sentiment of, hey, we're going to go hire a head coach who's 72 years old, but it might take a few years. Give us some time because we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
let's give this 72-year-old some time.
You're not talking about a 32-year-old.
No. This is fantastic. I mean, it really is. Like, it's so bad that you can't look away.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't. 1-800-239-WJOX, the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. You know, for more than 4 decades, Alabama Professional Services, they have been the trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. These certified statewide teams at APS, those experts are friendly, efficient, reliable. You need to call them today at 205-951-9770. You're looking to safeguard your home from pests, to keep your lawn healthy and green, or just perhaps you need some things around your house in regards to sinking driveway or foundation problems. APS can take care of all of that. Call them today at 205-951-9717 or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com. It's Football Friday. Your calls and texts next on 3-Man Front. It is 12:22. Welcome back in. Three-man front on this Football Friday. We'll talk to Kyle Parmalee, some high school football coming up at 1 o'clock. Week 7. Hard to believe the season is almost 70% done. It's crazy how fast it goes. Let's go to the phones. 1-800-239-WJ with Don Don. What's up, Don Don?
Hello, guys. Getting ready. Pat and Conrad Molly, how's everybody doing?
We're doing fantastic. What are you up to tonight? You going to a high school game? I know you were at the Thompson Hewitt game last Friday.
Yeah, yes, sir. That was very nice of y'all. I appreciate y'all doing that.
Oh, no. We're glad to
yeah,
see you guys come over, and sorry we couldn't be more hospitable with a victory, but I know that, hey, these things happen. Thompson's a great football team.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Pat, I think Trustful's good. You separate. I think didn't you tell me the other day that quarterback was a freshman?
He is 15 years old. That is correct.
Yeah, and I think you told me that the Davis kid was 15 years old too.
Yep, got a bright future. Both of those players do, very much so.
Yes, you do. But I'm at work now, but in about an hour or so, I'm getting ready to get on the road and go ahead and go down to Auburn. Got a big weekend planned down there. Got a big party tonight at a friend of Kip Keeper's. He's got a big RV farm down there about 4 miles away from the stadium, so they're having a big party. I got invited to everything, and Kip got me a ticket too.
Oh, that's great. Well, let me ask you this: as a Auburn supporter, we had Mike Gittens on the show, and I know you're at work right now, so you might not have heard the interview.
No. I was actually on the road and heard that and everything. And
okay, so what's your thought? What's your thought on what Mike Gittens had to say? Because he did not paint